adjust the mic a bit. I'm in, I don't know, looking to get picked up on a short on the NQ at 17,491. I'm in a short right now on gold GC, trying to see if the RDA is going to hold on oil. Looks like we might be at a top there. I'm not sure. I think we'll do
Order filled.
one position on oil, another position there. Hardly anybody showed up today. Everybody's taking a break.
We're just waiting for you to show up in the room.
Yeah, just, well, hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully, been a slow trading day, no news. Big news on Friday, or Thursday, but there doesn't seem to be much news on kind of the days leading up to it. I'll share the shares. Part of me sees the CL sell off there. We're short everywhere. Momentum and bias short. The daily open here above the weekly open. All right. Well, let's look around the charts, see what we can find. So, as you can see there, I'm short. Actually, I'm short in CL as well. So, let's make this window a little bit bigger. Let's add one more chart to this thing. And let's do, okay, what is this? Here we have on the left, gold futures. I'll put the NQ there. NASDAQ. Why is my mic? There we go. NASDAQ. Let's pull up oil. We on H? We are on H. So NQ's in the middle. Looking to get picked up on a short on, or actually I'm already picked up on gold. 3 lots. Probably should put a protective stop in there. Oh man, look at that. NQ selling off, possibly. Let's look at the 4-chart setup.
Order filled.
Picked up at the RDA on chart 2. Now I'm looking at chart 2. For those that are on Discord or YouTube, I've got just the NQ 4-chart set up there. So you'll see there we broke that. The RDA, maybe a switch over in momentum. See if I can get picked up on another test up here. Let's go up a little bit higher.
Order filled.
I got picked up in 6 lots on the NQ. Let's not give it much room. I'm going to do 2 trailing stops, 3 lots, get rid of this position. Erroneous. Ideally, what we want to see is it not get above the week level at 17,481, chart 4. So gets above that, I might bail on the position and maybe reverse on the NQ. Week level there at 17,481. Otherwise, we'll stick with that trade. Let's see what the gold has in store. Gold's up 240. Got a level down here at 282018. I'm going to put some trailing stops in there. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can, and then put a profit into that level there using chart 2 on gold, GC. I haven't figured out an easy way yet to show the 4-chart setup streaming, so I can only show one 4-chart setup. Haven't figured out an easy way yet to change 4-chart setups for those that are watching. And for those that are new, you'll see down below you can join via Discord. It's a good place to connect. I'll have some announcements here in the next 2 weeks. Stuff that alphas will want to pay attention for, definitely want to be around for. So if you're an alpha, if you're not an alpha, it's real simple to join the Rex Dog training. One-time fee charge it for years, $9.97. You get everything. Indicators, which I'm on the final stages of the Rex Dog ATR as well as the in-play indicator. Just wanted to, before we released the version 1, I wanted to run through a couple more tests of those indicators and make sure that they were just running the way they should. All right, we're only in one CL position. I probably should have tried to get in a couple more because there's some room for that to run. It's hitting the opening range high, so it would have been nice to be in a couple more lots on that thing, but I entered the trade late on oil. So let's target for the NQ, chart 4. Strong levels, that's my targets. Downside, 445. Should be obvious to anybody that's trading the system. Anybody have any questions or anything that you want to ask? You want to ask? Got something on Discord here. Everything seems open to outsiders except for Warrior and Delta. Oh, I'll have to look at that. I did change something last week. We'll find out. Let me see. That's so loud. There we go. Up about 1200 on the NQ trade there. So let's put some trailing stops in here. It's just not reliably selling off. It's stalling. But no reason to lose any on this trade. So I'll give it a little bit of room. Put all my trailing stops in profit. What are we on? Gold futures, GC, 3 lots.
Order filled.
Took one off on GC just to take some profit. It's stalled there. It's at a level, so, and we'll see what happens on the NQ trade here. All right. Well, let's even in this slow time, maybe we can eke out a couple $1,000s worth of profit here and low volatility. No reason not to. Really trading with the bias and momentum of the market. Oh, it's a pretty good sell-off there. What is that on? The NASDAQ, the NQ. There we go. Pretty good. It's almost going to hit our profit zone. I'll put a target there. Move some of our trailing stops up. That's the level we were targeting, 445. I said that earlier.
Order filled.
Hit 445. Not a bad way to trade. Let's see if it's going to get to the next level on chart 4. Next level would be right around 435. Put another profit target there, 435. Strong zone to strong zone. That's all we're doing. Really can't be any easier than that. So we got a RDA check here on crude oil CL. I'm only in one lot there, so I might just take that profit or tighten up my stop loss. I'm going to tighten up my stops on gold here just to be in profit. There's no reason to lose any. It's on the right side of the trade, so I'll give it a little bit of room, but No reason to lose any capital. So we are short pretty much everything I'm trading right now. GC, we're short, but we're going with the market. We're going with the bias and momentum of the market. We're short in the NQ. Already took our first profit. Let's see if we get knocked out here on the volatility. Probably should put my stop losses above the bias and momentum indicators there. Below the daily open today so far. We hit the RDA on the actual oil trade. Let me tighten up the stop loss on that thing. We're hitting the M24 on chart 4. And then we also have the RDA right around 74, spot 31. We're also at the opening range high. So, I was only in one lot. I only entered one lot there on the actual CL there. So far, good profit. We're up about $1,200 so far for the afternoon. For a slow afternoon, that's not bad. I'll take it. Not really trading at size. Didn't see anything at size I really wanted to trade heavily into. Target of the NQ is 436 for the next target, and I'll let the rest run. And then probably get knocked out of this oil trade here unless it stays momentum short on the fast momentum check. If you look at the 4-chart layout on the actual NQ, for everybody but TradingView that can see that, because TradingView only wants you to stream TradingView charts, you'll see that my stop losses are above the RDA, at least at this moment in time on chart 2. So all I'm doing is really trailing that RDA. Ultimate target on early gold for the next profit would be 2018, 2018 spot 5. The stronger level on that actually is down to 2006, but that's really moving. Might get there, but I'll trail the rest of mine if I'm still in the trade. So for those that haven't joined Discord yet, you'll definitely want to join. If you haven't joined Discord, you'll see a link below in the description or below the video that says join me in Discord. Definitely want to do that. You are interested in trading what I trade, visit Rexdog Trading. I explain the system there. It's only going to be available for a little bit more because we're going to be moving on to the next phase of what I'm doing, really my life's work. That's really what I want to be moving on to here in the next couple weeks is completing my life's work as far as trading and bringing what alphas we have here into the fold. I don't want to announce anything until we get further down the road. I need another 1 or 2 weeks to really get to that point. But I'm excited about the future, excited about some of the things we have working on behind the scenes. Knocked out of the CL trade, up about 1670, 1629 total P&L. Looking for the next trade on CL. It's not sure on CL because on CL, when I'm looking at the chart there, we're at the opening range high. I'm more apt to actually, we're also at a 5-minute RDA check. I'm willing to wait for 7406. I think what we'll do another position up here, right around 74, 77, just shy of the RDA on chart 2. Get picked up for another 1 lot. Do one just above that as well for a continuation down to maybe the mid opening range, which aligns with the VWAP. I've had no losing trades so far this afternoon. Looks like we might get knocked out of this NQ trade here, though.
Order filled. Stop filled.
Got picked up on CL. Got stopped out of a gold trade as well, only in one lot left. We'll remove this target here. We'll see if gold gets back up to 2024. I might short it again. Otherwise, I have no interest in shorting it where it's at. Got picked up on our 2 lots on crude. Put some protective stops in the market. Just keep it at 2 lots for now. Feeling okay, but I want to get off trading here a little bit earlier. I just wanted to pop on real quick, answer any questions anybody has, showed up to the group. Anybody have any questions? Anybody else trading? Anybody else in a position? Anybody else want to speak up? Got quite a few people now in the trade room. Feel free to share audio-wise or in text. Hit that level, that strong level on chart 4, that 445 level on the NQ, and it really held that.
Stop filled.
Got stopped out there with 2 lots. Up 23.55 so far for the afternoon. Not bad for just light trading, low positions. I'm also doing a few other things, so I'm working on a couple other things, so while I'm trading, unless someone has questions, and I'll definitely answer those questions, but in the final phase of testing the Rexdog ATR and then the Rexdog in play indicator. There'll be a couple of those indicators, at least 2. One probably for public and then one for alpha members with a lot more options. Trying to make the Rexdog ATR most useful. I don't find tremendous value in ATR indicators other than a few things. But I think that the system, as we have it set up, already accounts for what an ATR indicator can give you.
Stop filled.
Completely stopped out of the NQ trade. 28.29 is the P&L. Question is, do we want to continue selling the NQ? The target would be the actual RDA at 328, 17,328. But I think we wait for the extreme band here. It's going to reach for the daily open right there at 466. So let's look for above here. Let's look for a 468 overshoot. We get picked up there. We get picked up there. And then we'll do another position here, just trading the levels. My positions are just the levels. So for anybody that's asking, where are my positions? Where are my entries? Well, I'm looking at the 4 chart setup, and I'm looking at chart 1, looking at chart 1, chart 2, and chart 4 primarily to say, okay, if it's going to, the number 1 level that's most important at this point in time is the daily open. That gets exceeded, doesn't want to hold the daily open, or does it want to fake out, try to look like it's going to hold and sell off. If it sells off there, the target at least initially is, it's the RDA, really is the target. So we are in a rollover state. When you look at chart 3, 60-minute chart, question you ask, are we in an early rollover state or are we in a momentum long state where it's going to hold the momentum indicators here and continue up? So that level we really have to the upside, that's most important there, is I would say that 480 level. 480 level is pretty key. If bias momentum returns here, long on chart 2 of the NQ, then I might want to be long.
Order filled.
All right. Got picked up by 3. Might keep going, so I'm giving it a little bit of room. My next entry is at 475, then my next entry is at 480. Doesn't seem to be stalling, so that might have been an early entry as far as didn't get an initial signal there in the sell-off. And I might be switching over, so I got to be mindful of that on the MQ. I'm going to exit the CL
Order
trade.
filled.
I don't like where it's at, so I just got out of break even on CL. There we go. Let's see if there's an immediate answer to that sell-off there in chart 2 on the NQ. Well, best case scenario on the short side is that this is just an overshoot of the indicators on the NQ. It does look like it's going to break. I probably most likely will add to my NQ trade. Well, I want to be at least have these out. At this point, I don't think it makes sense to lose capital on this trade, but it still might come back up. So I'm just going to put some trailing stops right at my entry, see if we can ride that down. I expect a reaction at 445 once again, which is a strong level that was tested and held from chart 4 on the NQ. That holds and reacts. Maybe I might add to the short 3 lots on momentum or RDA check on chart 2. Thinking is that the target is down on, if it breaks the key level on chart 1 of 447 or so, and the next likely target is either the extreme band of 380, so 17380, or 332. Oh, wait. Made a stupid error there. I put in 3 lots for my trailing stops. That would have been dumb. Still rusty. I need to get back to trading more, trading every day again. All right, as I look at the gold, don't really want to add to my gold position. I just don't have confidence it's going to go either way. It's slowed as far as the NQ. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. We'll make the decision here whether or not this holds, or is it going to tag the 445 and hold. So far, it might be an overshoot, but we'll see. It might just knock me out here. Yeah, I was looking at Bitcoin too. Look at Bitcoin, it's overshoot of the RDA, and then we're in that zone that I outlined a while ago that I'm really looking for. It'll be really interesting to see if it holds. Oh, Michael's asked, yeah, what happened? Yeah, I mean, you know, for those that know, I have terminal cancer, so some of it is I took more
Stop
time than
field.
I usually do for vacation during the holidays, just appreciating family and doing things and going places. And then I'm looking at a couple trials, and that's that's meant that I've had to travel a little bit more and be a little bit more busy, then also focus on a couple other things. So I've just been pretty swamped. Plus, I've been just taking it easy. I haven't really been trying to push myself. Uh, but I'm excited to come back here and to really kind of at least hit live trading at least I'd say 2 to 3 times a week, and then also continue on uh, working or continue or finish some things that I've shared with some people that I've been working on for the last year at least plus, and then get other then offer the opportunity to other alphas here to get involved in what I've been working on. I still have some. So yeah, and also I'm still getting treatment. So doing all that in between getting treatment and trying to stay healthy. So this treatment that I'm on now, I take a I it um it takes a little bit more out of me than past treatments have. Okay, so let's get back to our trading here. All right. So a little bit of an overshoot. I think there's no trade here, maybe trading up.
Order filled.
I'm going long up to an RDA test here on chart 1 and then selling at the RDA. An RDA overshoot is what I'd be looking for on chart 1. So we go to the so really just an RDA overshoot, not buy. What the hell? So trading up to that, scalping up to that, and then Michael asked terminal like confirmed. Oh yeah, it's terminal. I mean, I've had major cancer surgery for colorectal cancer in 2019, 2018. Don't remember exactly what year. I should remember. And then I was cancer free for a while, and then it came back, and I have cancer in 4 areas of my body. So 4 different tumors. So far, all the treatment I've been taking has kept it stable or reduced it, but there's no real curative thing for what I have. Just trying to live as long as possible. I mean, some of the trials I'm looking at are potential curative, and the problem with colorectal cancer, not to get too deep into this, is it's a little bit of a harder cancer once it's spread. For some of the new treatments to actually work, the immunotherapies and a few other things. So even the trials, while promising, they're more curative than what's out there now, but uh, um, they're still at the tail end of what's being developed because of the nature of the cancer and how it is how it's built or how it's structured. So yeah, I mean, I'm already over 2 years what I was supposed to live. I'm already beyond that. Like I said, I plan to kinda do another 10 years here. So I don't know what the cancer's planning to do, but that's what I'm planning. So I'm not planning to go out anytime soon. I mean, I do have better days, and I do have some days where I'm like, "Oh, this sucks," but, you know, Not promised anything in life. I still enjoy trading. But, yeah, you haven't seen me much because, look, I mean, the more I do go down that path, the less time I do have technically. So I'm taking more advantage, but I just, I thought about cashing in my chips. I considered it about a month and a half ago. Like, why don't I just cash everything out and just go to the 2 or 3 places I really wanna spend time and just kinda live out my days there. And, I'd be utterly bored after about 30 days. I mean, sure, I could travel, but even traveling for me gets bored because kinda get sick of being on the go all the time. I still have to get treatment, so I'd have to figure out how to get treatment in these places, which I could easily figure out and pay for. It's just I'm I also have, a daughter that's in college, so being around her is important, spending time with her and family and everything else. So it's like, you know, I don't know what else to unless you're faced with it, it's a hard thing to think about, right? If you were told that you had cancer right now and it was terminal, um, what would you do? Like, number one, you should probably be living your life that way anyways, right? They say you should be living your life like it's like your life, like you're not promised tomorrow. But like, if you were given that diagnosis of, hey, you have terminal cancer and the treatments that you have available to you are, you know, maybe can give you a little bit more life, but that if for everybody that's known someone that has had cancer treatment, by the way, I'm going long on the NQ. I'm still looking for uh, that upward test of the RDA, but I got to be careful because it's doing a momentum test. So we're a little bit close to the momentum test on chart 1. You know, and I know I'm in a kind of different situation than many of you there listening because many of you are still trying to become successful traders or probably not maybe financially where you want to be and where I could happily cash in on my chips and I'm okay, right? So, but I'm also a person that I can't just sit around and just watch TV all day and just, plus, like I said, having family and they've got to live their lives, but I want to be around them when they're available to spend time, right? So my daughter's got to go to college, right? I'm not going to ask her to give up college, uh, and give all that up. She's in her junior year and she's doing good. She's excited and she's, you know, so it's just, until you're faced with it and until you kind of look at it, it's hard decisions that you make. I'm happy though. I guess that's the number one thing I would say. Yeah. And as far as like you said, um, Michael, you know, I've got responsibilities I just don't want to leave behind. Yeah, I've got all that handled. I mean, the fortunate thing is that I've had the time, right? I've had the time. I will share that. I part of me last month, or was it last month? Is it January? Yeah, part of me in December was feeling that I maybe lived too long. Uh, when you have a non-curable disease, it's not a fast death. It's not like you just get in a car wreck and bam, you're out. It's like a slow decline. And the pain, pain management becomes more of an issue and dealing with everything and the ups and downs of what your family goes through and the hopes and pains. It's like I was feeling beginning of December, maybe I've just lived too long. Maybe it would have been better if I would have just went out. I was thinking like in Breaking Bad, there was a scene too where it was towards the end of the series. I think Walt said that if you've seen Breaking Bad, he said, you know, if I would have just gone out at this time, it would have been just the perfect time before his wife found out. So, spoilers alert if you haven't watched it yet, but before his wife found out and before all the problems came up, he just said, look, if I would have just got killed or died during that time, it would have all been perfect. And I felt that way beginning of December. I'm long, by the way, in NQ. I don't see any other trades that I really want to jump on here. So I'm just trying to get to the NQ and trying to see if I can
Stop field.
get above $3,000 to $4,000 here, $5,000. Yeah, so the beginning of December, I was like, there was a few things that went on that I was like, I think maybe I just lived too long.
Order field.
Maybe it would have been just, but that was temporary. But yeah, you do have those kind of like, because it sucks dying slow. People see you decline, the pain, all the other shit. It just sucks.
Order field.
Oof, I don't want to be on the wrong side of this trade, so I'm really trying to manage this trade well. So let's see if we're going to do a couple positions here. I might bail out of this real quick if it doesn't. It's in a changeover state. I did enter at a bad position. I entered at a reactionary on chart 1. Kind of not the best entry. Cisco, as you said on January 15th. Yeah, I do remember I hope you guys don't mind that I'm actually just sharing my thoughts. Don't know what else to say. Just trying to keep it from being dead air because there's no other trades on the table. But I'm open to answering questions and keep it more trading focused. But yeah, so I was talking to someone today and I said, look, if I didn't have trading, I would have less to look forward to. I'd have less to actually want to get up and actually do. And because what am I going to do? Watch Netflix all day? I have been watching this show called Gold Rush. It was on a couple years ago and on TV. It's about these people from like Oregon or like different parts, or people that do live in Alaska. And they're gold mining. I think I'm on like season 4 now. I don't know how many seasons there are, but it's been an interesting show to watch. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of seasons. It's a good show.
Yeah, so I liken it to kind of trading in a way because you're looking at that. If you watch the show, basically you go find dirt and you basically wash dirt, but you don't know. I mean, you can test the dirt and kind of see where the gold is, but you don't know until you run it, and it's a crapshoot. And it's kind of like that. And every day you get up in trading, you kind of know where the gold is, but you don't know what the day is going to give you. Some days you do really good, and same with the I mean, in that show, the machines and the environment really is what they're battling against, and people. But I see a lot of parallels with trading with that show. But it is it's whole. I mean, yeah, it is an interesting. I mean, I couldn't watch the show live because of how they edit the show, because I skip a lot of things because of the way that they. It seems like every time they come back from a commercial, they'll rehash like the whole story of the individual as if you need to be reminded. But when you're watching that not with commercials or on TV, it becomes utterly annoying. So I don't know if anybody's watched it, but it is a good show. I agree. I don't know who said it. I think that was Jules, right? Yeah, so it's definitely so far I'm enjoying the show.
Actually, it wasn't me. I think it was Jason.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that show. So
Yeah.
And it was unique. They are also artificially inject drama constantly.
Yeah, it's
You
got
know.
worse as any reality TV shows. It gets worse, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like when there's a minor crash of a machine, though, you can see when they cut the commercial, and it's like that's why I couldn't watch the show on normal TV because it would utterly annoy me. But I can skip 2 minutes ahead or to get to the juicy stuff. So, I'm kind of like I hold the controller in my hand and I skip things real quick. Otherwise, I would get utterly annoyed because they come back from commercial and do a minute and a half of explaining what you just watched, the first 30 minutes of the show. It's like, yeah, dude, I just watched that. I get it. So it's it's edited very interestingly.
It's an irritating formula, but it's a formula. You're right.
Yeah.
It repeats like that. It's like, why are you doing that?
And it's just, I think they
Yeah.
just don't have enough footage to keep it interesting across 20 episodes or whatever they run, right? So if you got an hour
Yeah.
time to fill that you do on TV with commercials, because this was shot, I think for probably, I'm watching it on HBO Max, so it probably was on Discovery or
Yeah.
you know, the History Channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still long on the NQ, and I'm up about 4 lots. I tried to get picked up for a few more because I'm still looking for that test of the RDA.
Another similar show. Have you ever watched Wicked Tuna?
No, same type of kind of elements.
It's well, no, yeah, it's a bunch of fishermen who
Yep.
basically are trying to make their living off of these huge bluefin tuna, and it honestly it's like Gold Rush, but the gold or tuna. It's a very similar formula and seal. If you like Gold Rush, you probably like Wicked Tuna.
Okay, then maybe I have another show to kind of plow through after I get through Gold Rush. But I'm enjoying it. I'm
Especially if
only
you
on.
like fishing at all.
It seems like at least the beginning seasons, it's built upon every season. Like it's got bigger
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't quite jumped the shark as
Definitely.
far as reality TV show for me yet. So
And it does jump the shark a couple times, unfortunately.
yeah,
and, and then they come back around. They got spin-offs and things like that. Some pretty good, some are terrible. Anyway, it's it feels like an awful lot of desperate people who are no way paying the bills. That's the way I look at it.
yeah, exactly.
Except that little Schnabel kid. That guy makes bucks.
Yeah, well, and he's got. I mean, yeah, that's the. But I do see. I mean, I don't know how much do you see parallels in trading with kind of the show? I see a lot. I mean, maybe you haven't watched it for a
Definitely.
while, but
Definitely.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. I see why you'd say that.
resonate with him because, well, he's aggressive. I'm an aggressive trader, and so far a lot of his moves have been aggressive. And of course, he's for those that don't know, it's like he's been gold mining pretty much his family's lot his whole life, but then he went out. He's 18, and all these other gold miners on his crew are in their 30s, at least 27. Some of them are in their 40s, right? They've been gold mining. They've got to take orders from this 19-year-old kid, but he's the one that put up the money. I mean, he's the one that took the chance, put up the, couple $100,000 to buy the equipment and, but he also, out of all the other kind of crews, at least that I've seen, he's the one that's kind of the aggressive one.
Definitely. He gets it done too, consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I could talk. I mean, I'm in the midst of watching it. Like I said, so when I do have downtime, I'm kind of watching that show, just plowing through it because I haven't found another show that interests
Part of
me.
it, yeah. Part of it too, though, is he's on ground that has X amount of gold, ounces, per ton of dirt, and he's, so he's got the equation down. He knows he's just got to grind. So in the comparative to trading is, once you've got a set of guidelines that work, you just have to grind through it and stay at it and be consistent and show up every day.
Yeah, that's a good recap of what I see, the correlations, because I mentioned that before with trading. For me, I just show up now and it's my job. I'm just grinding it out. I'm not like that. The Todd group, the other group. There's another group in the show that it seems like for the life of them, they can't get out of their own way. I don't know where they end up seasons now, but the first season they were small time. The next season they made some money. Then they decided to go off to the jungle with no experience, no, like just
So dumb. It was bad. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I see that a lot in traders too, which is like They bounce from system to system. Maybe they make a little bit of money, then they lose money, then they make a little bit of money. They don't kind of have it dialed in, like you said. Like, that's why I'm a big proponent of like whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're trading the Rex Dog system. Of course, I do hope you are, because I think it's one of the best systems. But you need to make it your own. But you also need to have it dialed in where you're not changing it every day. Like um, it's it's that's the biggest thing, that people get bored or they get distracted or whatever else. But I believe a big proponent of me and the people that I am seeing have growth is because they're consistent at doing the same thing. They know the gold's in the market. They know it's there. It's just, okay, how do I continuously not make the same mistake over and over and not repeat mistakes? You know, it's still trying. I'm getting close to where I need to maybe bail on this
Agreed.
position or not. I'm going to put a fixed stop here of 6 lots below the strong level.
We got the top of the hour coming up, so
Yeah.
what that's worth.
Yeah, so I don't want to get knocked out at the same time. I mean, it's hasn't breached the slow momentum indicator on chart 1 on the NQ, so till it does that. But it has every indication that it wants to. I'm in 6 lots, and then my stop loss is at 17,452. My reasoning putting it there is it's below the week level at 454 on chart 4. So I probably could move it down a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit more spikeability. But my reason in here is the volatility of the next 6 minutes of the hour closing. If I can stick it through this, it does appear that the pattern that's developing on the 5-minute is a breakthrough pattern, possibly a breakthrough momentum for an RDA check. And the level that's important there on chart 1 is 1455. So my stop loss is below that to give it room to maybe tag 1455 and hold. I might even add a couple of positions if it does pull back to 1455 and looks like it's going to hold. I mean, the Bitcoin sell-off is a prime example of buy the rumor, sell the news. Basically, the day that the ETF was approved, it's been selling off. So the question is, how much is it going to sell off? And I'd like to, here this week, do a longer-term analysis of Bitcoin. So that's on my agenda as well. There we go. Our close. Momentum and bias has shifted just ever so slightly back on chart 2 on the NQ. See if it pulls back and actually breaks through those highs and actually goes and reaches the RDA, which is right around 480. This will be one of those times when you, at the end of the day, you would look at the market and say, well, okay, there are some signals to kind of fade the market there, because this is ultimately a fade, which we are looking to maybe go short when it hits the RDA to make the decision up there. So this is a fade trade. And it would be something where you would maybe look at the charts and say that was a clear, or at least somewhat of a clear fade trade. But it was once again something that in real time, it was a little bit more different than it. Staying in the trade in real time was much different than looking at it after the fact. And I found that exercise valuable. I know there's a few people that get together in the evening, and one of the things to keep in mind is that when you're looking at a trade with historical, when you're looking at a chart, you really want to look and say, you really want to keep in mind, okay, what does this really mean from a real-time perspective? Because you look at a chart and you would say, oh, it's so obvious that it was long. But then if you look and see, maybe there was an indecision period, but after the fact, it was obvious, but that indecision period lasted 30 minutes. Well, you have to take that into account, because I'm sure many people, if you're watching the market daily, you're starting to realize that, which is waiting 30 minutes for a trade to unfold when you're in a trade, or adding or scaling into a trade, but ultimately you're banking on a directional move like we are here, is a lot harder than looking at the chart after and saying, oh, that trade was so obvious, I just need to take the trades like this. Because when you're looking at a historical chart, you don't factor into the emotions that you feel during the real-time nature of what the chart is doing and the decisions you have to make. So like here is a prime example. I'm given an opportunity to kind of play within its channel, come down to maybe as far as 1453, 1452. My stop is below the extreme band. I'll have to make a decision if I get picked up on these three. Do I then, my ultimate drop, the position is 17,444, that level on chart 4. If that gets tested and chart 2 doesn't show an immediate turnaround and a stair-step pattern to the upside, then scaling into the trade, I need to get out of the trade, because I will scale down. I'm planning to kind of scale in down to there at this point, but it needs to turn around right away. Put another protective stop in below my 6 in case it rips. Some kind of news comes up. Yeah. All the other charts, I don't see, I'd rather just from the NQ, because I don't see, I mean, CL looks like it's probably going to come up and test the highs, but the opportunity cost of just me just focusing on the NQ looks better from my mind. As far as just if I can maybe get in a couple more lots here, or just ride these six positions. Once again, I'll remind you, if I wasn't streaming, the amount of attention I'd be paying to this chart would be pretty much nil. I'd have it running in the background where I could see it on one of my screens, but I would have my 6 lots. I'd have the position set up the way it is right now. And then one of two things are going to happen is that I'd either get profitable. I would, if I wasn't watching the chart closely, I would put one lot as a initial target of around 17,477. And then I would just be having the chart in the background. Then I'd be doing other things on my computer, because the trade's either going to work out or not. I don't need to sit here and watch it. And the other charts don't show me anything that I need to move on. So this late in the session, I just don't see a need to. So this move's either going to happen or not, and I'd be giving it the attention that it really deserves and not sitting here watching the chart. Motivationally Yours asked on YouTube, could you share the defining moment in your trading journey when you hit that you really made it? How did that feel? Oh, hit that I really. I'd say the defining moment. Sure, I'll do that. So I'd say the defining moment for me when I felt like there's a couple defining moments. The first time that I actually took a wire out of my account and actually realized profit and still had enough to trade at my level was the first time I took a withdrawal is when it really hit home for me where because it can be in your account, you can be growing your account, but the first time you take a withdrawal and you actually take it and then you have to add it to your taxes and you actually have to add it as income and actually you get to do something with that money. That's really the first time for me when I'm like, okay, this is real because it feels real. It's sitting there in numbers in your account, but it's in someone else's account. It's in the broker's account and they could go belly up. I mean, this is how paranoid I am. The broker could go belly up and then all my work is gone. But the second that I transfer it over to my account, it's a little bit safer. That bank could still go belly up. So I'm still paranoid, but then at least I feel like I have some control over the capital. That was the first time. So my first withdrawal from a Forex account, that was where I basically took, I don't know, I don't know, I think about 12,000 out or something. So the first 12,000 I took out of a Forex account, I was like, this is freaking awesome. I've been taking some crypto trades out before that because crypto was just going crazy. And, you know, by then I was smart enough to know this is a weird, this is like a, this is a, I've lived through a couple bubbles in my time and I was smart enough to know this is a bubble. And I learned the lesson that you just don't sit on money when you've made money in a bubble and you kind of let the market kind of figure out what it wants to do before you put capital into it. So I had some success with crypto, but I looked at that as just me being having the opportunity to be around during when a technology kind of had its heyday. Um, so I didn't feel like that was replicatable. I didn't feel like, okay, my crypto profits were replicatable at all because I couldn't do it again. I couldn't predict that. And I was just kind of in the right place at the right time for a lot of those. But then my first like $12,000 withdrawal from a Forex account, and I had the system. I was like, holy shit, if I could do this every month, like that's what I was thinking then. And that's when it really hit me. Um, and it felt good. I mean, it felt like empowering. You know, that's why I think one of the things you should try to think on um, when you ask how did it feel, it felt real. The other thing that it did is that I could fire up the account and show my wife and maybe a few people that knew me that maybe were close to me, right? Not that many people, one other person, right? And say, hey, look, I'm successful with this thing. But that's not real to them. But the second that I could take $12,000 out, figure out what taxes I owed and everything else, and then go buy something like go on a vacation or go buy something or just send cash over to my wife, then it became real for her. Then she's like, "Oh, okay. What he's doing actually makes sense." Otherwise, it's just in some kind of she kind of knows about, she can see, but she doesn't know. And yeah, it's growing, but is it real? Well, the second that they can, and I actually did pull out some cash too. I pulled out some cash and you know gave her some cash because I thought at that point too that makes it even more real. I had gone through so much pain and agony to get to there from the pain and agony of shutting down my business, not making money, and not really contributing as much towards my my me being the man of the house basically, and then taking a risk. So then this became real. Not only did I just send over money, but we took a trip, but I also gave her cash because then home front and everything for me was taken care of. I didn't. So for me, that was a defining moment for me when it became real. Um, there was wins before that, and we're long in here. We're in 6 lots. I think what I do here is I'm going to put some trailing stops in the market right above my entry, and then we're going to put a couple profits here right around the RDA because we don't want to not take profits here, and this might sell off right away. So I've got 2 profit targets up above, right around the RDA on chart 1, and then I've got 4 trailing stops right around my entry. We're up about $1,600 on the NQ. Yeah, so for me, that was the time when it felt real. I would suggest to anybody, you try to get to taking a withdrawal as quick as possible because then it gets more real. You know, there you do want to grow the account and then use that account so you can do more trades. But, you know, if you're like me, you have other people that you know, you have a family or a wife or whatever else, you've got to prove to them just as much to everybody, or you got to prove to them just as much. You got to prove to yourself that this is viable, that 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 this is real money. This isn't fake money. This is something that can continue. This is something that they can tangibly hold in their hands. So her attitude changed after that as well. As far as, I mean, she supported me before because she's always been that way, and I've been fortunate that she supported me in whatever I've done. But uh, that was, I mean, I showed her accounts before, and she just kind of, "Oh, I know you have this over here," is kind of the attitude she had. But after I physically wired it out and put it into accounts we had where she could see it, then she believed it. It's like she didn't believe it before, like I was just making up some numbers. It was kind of, it's a weird feeling because I was like, "Look, I'm showing you I'm doing it," you know? And she didn't believe it until I, you know, so I got knocked out of these trades here. Let's see if it holds up. I might go long again. And then Chubby asked, how did that transition go from you realizing you want to go full-time trading? It was pretty simple. My plan was my business was dying because I was spending more time on trading, and I despised my customers. And I didn't like the market. And you know, it's kind of like, I relate this to the gold rush. There's a individual on one of the seasons that, how it usually works is that someone has a claim on a piece of land, and they're the claim owner. And if you want to mine that land, you pay the claim owner what, 10 to 15% of whatever gold you get. Well, you still have a boss, so to say. And I don't care what anybody says. If you have customers in your business, you still have a boss. They're your customers. Um, and yeah, that's the price of doing business. You got to provide great customer service, but you just can't get up one day and not do customer service. You just can't get up one day and most likely not innovate your product. You've got to like do some things. And the great thing about trading is that you get it dialed in. Yeah, you have to innovate, but you don't have a boss. It's you. You don't have someone riding over your shoulders. It's just you. Um, you don't have someone, I mean, if let's say that you don't have capital and you have to go to someone to maybe get a loan, and a part of that loan is maybe even an agreement somehow of a profit cut, well, you're still gonna feel like that person that is mining gold on someone else's claim, but you only have one boss, but you still gotta answer to them. But it's less than a boss than a job. So for me, the transition was I had already planned it out as far as what I needed to make, how I needed to transition, and I done some of what I think most people, a lot of people haven't done, which is I looked at the tax consequences of what it takes to actually survive. I looked and said, okay, well, how am I going to get taxed on these trades? How do I set this up now? And then how do I set it up in the future when I have maybe more capital where it makes sense? I was fortunate that I had a little bit of capital to set up my structure so that I could get the best tax benefits almost immediately. But that's something everybody's going to have to go over is you're going to have to look at your trading and going to say, okay, what do I owe in taxes? What I owe in everything else? And then how do I structure my business, my trading and everything else so that I can write off things maybe in my trading, but I also get the best tax benefits of what I'm doing. One of the reasons why I trade futures as well, because my swing equity trades are taxed at a much different rate than my futures trades. You know, so there was I went through that.
What is the telephone number for your tax accountant?
Huh.
I'm just kidding.
I have
It sounds
there.
complicated.
It is
The deeper you go,
It's really not. I mean, it's really, most people don't have to think about that until they start having profitable days and weeks. And then you should start to find you really just need a qualified tax accountant and maybe an attorney. The reason why you need an attorney is because you need a tax attorney, because you need someone that's going to set up structures for you in where you live in your state or your region or wherever it's at. And they're going to work in conjunction with your tax professional. So it's really only two people or two firms. And it's not worth doing until you've proven that you can be profitable, because then you're overpaying in the beginning, but then you have money and you've proven it. It's same with, like, I've done businesses where we sat down and we did a business plan and we did everything, we did all this, and then we didn't focus on just making a profit, just seeing if this thing can sell. I mean, if you watch Shark Tank, that's the biggest thing. Someone comes in there, and if they haven't proven that they can sell this thing, that someone's willing to buy it, you're not interested. Well, the biggest mistake I made in the past businesses is that we didn't just get to making money. And then, the risk there is that you start making money and then everything falls apart. But I've learned that if you get to making money and everything falls apart, meaning that people start getting greedy, it probably would have fell apart anyways, no matter what agreements you've had in place. Because I've had agreements with people and they don't mean jack, because, they're willing to find any way out of the agreement. So if that agreement's going to go sour, it's going to go sour right away or when you're making capital. So I learned, kind of my second time that I did a business with maybe a partner, let's make money. Let's prove that we can make money here. Once we've proven that, then we have something to talk about. Then let's spend the time sitting down, doing the corporate structure and everything else. But let's make some money. And that might only be like a month or so. You know what I mean? So it's the same way with trading. Prove that you can make money with it. Yes, you're going to pay more in taxes most likely than if you had all these entities set up. But I mean, the other way is if you really believe in yourself and you have the extra capital, sit down with these people ahead of time and set it all up, because you know you're going to be successful. So if you're just going to, beyond a doubt, make this happen, I mean, who am I to say don't set it up, right? But there'll come a time when in your trading, all of you, where you're going to start making money, and you're going to have to deal with taxes and how you're trading, and you're going to need the help of a professional, two professionals, like an attorney and a tax.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Good, cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
Absolutely. Quick question, Rex. For instance, if your account would have been, for instance, sized between 3 to 5,000, would you change your strategy versus what you're and how you're trading right now with the current account?
I'd be trading the M&Q right now. I'm trading it right here.
That's the only change?
Well, yeah, I'd be on the M&Q right now if I had 3 to 5,000 in this account. I mean, I'm underutilizing this account pretty drastically by only trading 6 lots, only 5 lots here. But so yeah, if I only had 3-5 grand in this account, I'd be trading the M&Q pretty much 6 M&Q, maybe 9 M&Q here at the most. But I'd be doing the same trade, and I'd probably be up, instead of 700, I'd be up $100 or $200, right, or whatever it is.
Right. Gotcha.
So
Thank you.
relative to that account, that'd be great, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's the other gotcha that I really realized. Everybody, I mean, I understand that you want it now, because who doesn't? They want to be independent, financially independent. They don't maybe want a job. They don't, they have investment. But this thing's a marathon, and especially if you have $3,000 to $5,000, your margin for error is very small. So, protecting your capital at all costs is key. So, but on a $3,000 to $5,000 account, if you make $500 to $800 a week, that's pretty good. You can make more, don't get me wrong, but that's pretty good if you look at the actual percentage, right? Gain.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
and then, I've also found when I went through it myself. Each level that you scale up, you have a new level of challenges. As Biggie said, more money, more problems. So you get a bigger trading account, more psychological issues come up. You would think that all it is, I do say, I think someone asked recently, like, I'm trading these one lots. What do I do? I said, well, the first thing you need to do is trade multiple lots and just forget about the one lots because you can't make it. And then you just duplicate it, right? If you're trading 2, then you're just trading 4. Or if you're trading 3, then you're just trading 6. Well, I say that it's easier to say than execute because when you're used to trading 3 and you've modeled it out, well, suddenly you're trading 6. As long as you scaled in the same way that you were trading 3, and you don't get emotionally bothered or change your strategy or change what you do with those 6, just that change from 3 to 6 lots sometimes psychologically just changes your attitude towards the market and how you're trading. It shouldn't, but I'm sure most people here have felt it firsthand if you've done that. So Michael's asking, do you think trading the CFD version of NQ on a Forex broker with a smaller starting capital so you can risk a percentage of your account per trade, given that you trade decimals there? I'm familiar with the concept. I'm not really familiar with exactly how CFDs work anymore. Look, at the end of the day, if you can trade aggressively with leverage and do it well, you can do very well. But I saw someone popped up on my YouTube feed a week or so ago. I don't know, this guy that's doing these challenges on these different funded accounts, and I don't know what he's doing, but I watched a couple of his videos, and it seems like he blows up a couple funded accounts a week, and then he gets approved for a couple, and then he blows up a couple. So to me, that seems like I don't understand what he's doing. I don't know why, but for some people that works, I guess, this type of aggressive style. So to me, I don't really I don't think about the same, I guess, to answer your question completely, and then Vanity answer your question too, is I look at it as if you got $5,000 in an account and you have a skill to trade, what's the best way you could trade that to grow that account with the minimal risk possible, given your skill? And if that means that at that point in time, 5K, you can only grow that $300 to $500 a week or $500 to $1,000 a week with good risk management, and it doesn't drive you crazy, and you can duplicate it week after week, that's what you need to be doing. Because doing these strategies where you're aggressively doing anything that isn't repeatable, that isn't sustainable, is a waste of your time. You need to be focusing your efforts and time and everything on sustainable trading strategies. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. So if it's a sustainable trading strategy that you can duplicate, because the chances of you just doing one strategy, getting a big win, and then just walking away and keeping that big win and going to something else is nil, because you've got the fix. You've made that big pot like gamblers do. They go out and make the big pot. Now they're always chasing that big pot, right? I'm not surprised at what casinos are doing now. I wouldn't be surprised if I found that casinos are using AI right now to give younger traders or younger gamblers like huge wins to get them addicted. So imagine through AI, you can tell that this person's been to Vegas twice before, and then this is their third visit to your casino, and give them a big win or give them a relatively big win comparatively to what information you have on them. That's going to get them hooked kind of day one there. Like that's going to get them hooked on the big win. They're going to be chasing that. And if I don't know if this, I don't doubt it's against the law, but then casinos can then use that information to basically at a young age hook new gamblers with a big win early on in a way they could have never before done. For when that person comes back to Vegas the next year or in another 3 months, maybe you give them a little bit of a taste that's close to that big win. So what you're doing is, I thought about this the other day when I thought about we were going to take a trip to Vegas. I don't really like Vegas, but we were going to take a trip. I thought this is how I'd be running a casino. Anyways, so Vainly7 said reason you can't make it on one lot because you have to take profits at certain areas and have others run to the next area of profit. Runners will grow your account. Yeah, I've said this before, and I need to just do this. I need to do the visual so people can see it. The way that an account grows is that you trade in multiples, so you trade in threes, and your account stair steps, and then hockey sticks. And those hockey sticks are your runners. The stair steps are you trade, let's say, 3 lots, and you take profit 1, profit 2, and then maybe you get kicked out of a trailing stop. Okay, that's a stair step. Next trade, let's say you do 3 lots, and then let's say you get profit 1, but then you get kicked out of the other 2. Okay, you're stair stepped. And then the next trade you do 3 lots. You hit profit 1, you hit profit 2, and then profit 3 is running for a good hour and a half. Well, what you're going to see there is a small stair step and then a hockey stick move in your P&L. And if you're not trading multiple locks and not building that habit of trading like that and taking profit like that, you're not going to benefit from those hockey step like growth. Now, some might say, well, I should just keep it all in because, unless you're really good at executing trades, keeping all the lots in just isn't sustainable. It's like you're looking to get on base. So every trade you're looking to get on base. When the bases are filled, hopefully you go there and hit a home run. And that home run is a runner. So that's what you're really looking for is the way to look at it. So here's a prime example. I mean, we're deep into the session here. I'm going to take another off. I'm in 2 lots left. And we're up $3,600 for the day. Open profit of 2 lots on the NQ, and this is my runner. So remember, I started this position with 6 lots. I took 2 profits, 2 below the RDA, and then 1 here as exceeding the RDA on chart 1. And now I have the opportunity, and I'm going to give it a little bit more room to participate in what would be a runner. And in some ways, you can look at this. I've already made money on this. I've already made I think $800 already on this trade. And now these 2 lots are, and I'm going to use air quotes here, are a stress-free trade because now all I have to do is just basically let it run potentially. Run up to the next level on chart 4, which is 508. The next strong level on chart 4 is 508. If I want to maximize profit, I could possibly take it there. If it gets there, and then just have 1 runner. But at this point, as long as it stays, my stop losses now, I'm using chart 2, and I'm basically have my stop losses. I'll share the 4 chart setup. I already am. My stop losses is below the first extreme band on chart 2. So I have a couple reaction zones between here and my stop losses here in the long trade. We've got the slow momentum indicator, the RDA, and the first RDA extreme band. So now, other than I'm just on here, as far as the rest of the day trading, I mean, I don't even need to look at the chart. I basically can just let it run. Make sure I have no other positions out there, which I don't, and just let these 2 positions run. And then maybe come back just before the market closes and close them out if I don't wanna hold them. I mean, I can hold them overnight, so that's not a problem. I might just hold them, but this is a prime example of what I just said. Like you said, why you can't make it with one lot, because this is the one that's the hockey stick move. If it does get up to 508, I probably will be up to what, 1,800 or so? That's another 1,800 in this trade, and I've already booked profits. Yeah, so you said what drew you to trading was the amount of money you can make by informed decisions. Yeah. What drew me to trading is that it's just me in the market. I have no one else. Once I got the fact that it's not the market that's making me lose money, it's me, and I have to master myself, then I really got excited, because then I realized, okay, all I need to do is find a system that I trust, a series of patterns that I trust, and put on trades. And I don't have to worry about anybody else. No one else. I don't have to get up and worry about what emails do I have to respond to. Of course, with me, it's a little bit different. I got the group here, so I do show up and answer questions and still deliver things and everything else. So obviously, I've added a little bit more to my time than when I originally started, but I also get just as much out of it, the group here, as I put in. So I get a lot more out just having especially the trade room. We got, I don't know, a good 15, 20 people in the trade room right now. So, but I'm gonna have to call it, just because I do have to get the things. I will share. I didn't share my. I think I'll probably end the day right around, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'm at 3670 right now, and I'm up about 880. So if I did cash out now, I would be at 4400 for the afternoon. Light trading. I don't think I had one. Yeah, I held this trade, so I didn't really have one bad trade here in the afternoon. It's a low volatility day. Still was able to walk away with a couple thousand. Like I said, I'm not at the point where I'm not back into the swing of trading where I'm ready to size up unless I see a monster trade that I feel. And the volatility here, I just didn't see it. It made sense to be at scale. So, but I did want to show up here in the trade room, answer any questions. Any questions anybody have before I jump off? If not, I will try to be around here this week a couple times. Tomorrow, we'll see. I do have something early in the morning, but I should be able to come back from that. Other than that, I'll probably call it here. Rest of the day, I'm just gonna let these positions trail out. My target for that still is the 508. 508 is where my target, where I'd see the close maybe happen here. And my positions are, my trailing stops are far enough away where I should be able to stay in the volatility for it to get there. So sweet. So thanks everybody for joining me. Once again, if you haven't joined Discord, you'll see it down below in the description. If you are interested in becoming an alpha, it's real simple. Just get in touch with me, send me a DM. I did see someone try to join the group with my name the other day, so watch out for people that are trying to send you messages. Very seldom do I reach out to you. If I do, you can always verify it's me by right-clicking somewhere on a public profile, checking messages, and make sure it goes to the same profile. But if you are interested in becoming an alpha, get in touch. Say, hey, how do I get started becoming an alpha? Other than that, I want to be around here a couple days. I know Thursday's a big news day, right? So we do there's no news tomorrow. And then Wednesday, there's no news. And then we have durable goods, GDP, jobless claims, new home sale. We have pretty big news day on Thursday. So Wednesday might be setting up for Thursday. So tomorrow might be a low volatility day. Who knows? But I think there still be opportunity. But then it does look like as we get towards Thursday, the week will be setting up to what it wants to do based on the data that's coming out on Thursday. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, well, I'm going to call it a day. Everybody, like I said, once again, look forward to seeing you on the next stream. I hope everybody's having a great trading week so far. Started out good. Alphas, do you have any questions? Leave it in the den. Everybody else, you can ask questions in the general. And I look forward to seeing everybody here further on this week. So let's cut it. Sound good? Anybody? Let's go. There we go. Bam. I feel like I didn't make that much here for this afternoon. I mean, I did good. I just would like to make more.